We're back after a long, awarded, deserved 1 week break.
We're back.
Episode 7.
Episode Siete.
Wow, that was actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I can't even count to 10. I don't think.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco,
siete,
seis,
ocho, nueve. Actually,
siete.
I can.
You forgot Diaz. You forgot
Uno,
10.
dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, ocho, nueve, cuatro, cinco.
What? You just went from like 7 to 4 and 5. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, diez.
Got it. Diaz.
Spanish lesson. Spanish
Um,
lesson from the Vanderbonds.
Dude, we have been so busy. Not even busy. We've been just doing some, I don't know, we're traveling a lot. We just got back from Michigan yesterday. Tomorrow we fly out to go to Los Angeles. Then when we get back from Los Angeles, we're going to Massachusetts. So, dude, we have just been all over the place, but we're squeezing one in before we fly out tomorrow. This is a good one, though. And sorry, excuse me. I genuinely think the podcast is going really well, though. I enjoy doing it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Nothing good. The only thing we're going to, push up on is definitely the short form. We're trying to push that out. It's just we're trying to find the balance right now, and this is obviously both of our first podcasts, so we're trying to figure out, 1, how to do a podcast, 3, how to manage it. You know what I mean? So it's a little new for us. But anyway.
And, I forgot what I was going to say.
Living with a blonde,
Sorry.
It's like I got to finish her. It's like we finish each other's
Sandwiches.
sentences.
That's a Frozen reference. Any
Yeah,
of those Disney lovers out there?
Yeah, I don't know if there's any
I literally think I only know that so well from your sister.
My sister?
Yeah. Was it not your sister? Maybe it's my
No,
cousin
it was.
that
I
I
don't
know
know. My
it
sister
from.
was obsessed with that movie. Anyway.
Yeah.
Enough with Frozen. We didn't come here to talk Disney shows. We came here to talk about, dude, I think this is a good topic because I feel like a lot of people are afraid to leave their hometown. And me and Kayla were like thinking of ideas. What can we chat about that's like, people can relate to and or will be interested in? And this one, like, I love hearing people talk about this because everybody has a different experience with leaving their hometown. Personally, it was one of the best things I ever did. And I don't look back whatsoever. Don't even think about it. But, other people that I know never left the hometown. They still live where they went to high school, which is fine. And we're not crapping on it. But we're gonna try and get into the benefits. In our opinion, the benefits. But, yeah, dude, we're little. I mean, you guys probably already know this. We're both from Michigan. We moved down to Florida. Kayla's been down here for 2 years. I've been down here for 4 years. I love it.
2 years and like a week or
Yeah,
2 weeks.
The great state of Florida. But it was honestly not necessarily Florida. I mean, yes, Florida's great, and that I wanted to move to Florida, but it's not necessarily. That's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about like how it helped us grow. I feel like, but there's a lot of things. I mean, you can jump into your story too, but there's just a lot of things that it helped me with, just kind of being in my own, having my own space, and just kind of. Now, granted, my parents did move down here as well, but they live an hour south of here. I don't see them every day, you know what I mean? But that definitely did help a little bit. Kayla's parents are still in Michigan, so that's difficult.
Yeah.
But
I grew up never thinking I would ever move down. Like, I wanted to live down the street from my parents' house.
literally.
Like, that's literally what I grew up thinking I was going to do. But I also grew up in a family that we're all probably 10, 15 minutes from each other.
I mean, you went to college 15 minutes from your parents' house, and you still went home every weekend.
I went home every single weekend. That's towards like the end of college when I was like, I don't know. When Steven was gone, I had nothing to do.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was a big thing for me, as I've said that a million times, but yeah.
It was a great thing for you.
It was a great,
It
turned out to be great.
But yeah, I know leaving the hometown can be scary. Like just thinking about what could go wrong, and this is all I've ever known. And I can't really remember the thought process I had leaving the hometown, other than Kayla. I think was the really only thing that I thought about. Me and my buddy, honestly one of my closest friends, growing up, we just moved down here on a limb. But I did leave all my friends up in Michigan. Like I wouldn't say I have a lot of friends down in Florida. The nice part is our jobs, we kind of go different places, and we have friends in different area codes, I guess you could say, and we kind of whatever. But Kayla has, created her own group down here, her own friends, and her own life, honestly, in which and I'm not even shitting on you, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you were very to yourself and very dependent on others a year and a half ago.
Yeah, and in Michigan, but that's literally because that's all I ever knew, really.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't, even in college, like, yeah, I had to be by myself, but when there was a chance for me to go home or to hang out with my grandma, grandpa, literally anything, I was doing it.
But that's good. That's a good thing. And I'm not trying to say that's not. It's a good thing, but I guess I'm trying to think.
But it'd be weird to think about, though, if I was still in Michigan, I probably would have never had, like, the growth that I had from moving to Florida.
I don't think maybe you would have, but I think it would have been, I don't know. What I've always learned in life, you're never going to learn or you're never going to figure things out unless you throw yourself in situations that make you figure it out, right? So,
and I'm also not the type of person to do that.
No, but I think you've kind of started to lean towards that way.
Yeah, but I hate change so much. Like, I would rather everything stay the same.
Yeah, I think, like, growing up in a hometown,
a little scary.
Your parents kind of, I don't want to say pave a way for you, but, like, everybody knows your parents. Everybody knows they're your kid.
And my dad was involved in, like, the school I went to. So
yeah, and this is more from me. I'm not necessarily speaking for you, but yeah, just everybody knows your parents, and it's just kind of like you have a persona already because your parents. My parents didn't grow up in where I grew up, but they had a presence there. Just people knew who they were, and it was just kind of whatever. And it was just kind of like you got put into situations you probably wouldn't have been in. Then again, I was younger. I didn't really have a choice, but I wanted to, like, create something that was just me. You know what I mean? So, like, start over, start fresh, and kind of just, like, go out on a limb and see what would happen, honestly. Now that I look back at that is kind of scared to think about, just completely leaving everything you know and going to trying to, like, restart somewhere else. But I also think it turned me into a different person in the best way. But, dude, there's probably people listening right now that are thinking, they're graduating high school or college, and they're like, they're trying to figure out where they want to go. Because a lot of people are like, I know people that grew up in Florida or, sunny California, cool places, but, like, they want to dip as soon as they leave, or they think about leaving just because that's all they've ever known.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I also, like, loved where I grew up, though, too. So I never had that. It wasn't even, I mean, obviously I was close with my family, so I feel like that played a role, but I also had no problem with where I lived. You know what I mean? Like, I never was the type of person, like, I loved high school, I loved college, and I loved all of those things. There's a lot of people that I know, even that I, like, were friends with in high school, that were like, I need to get out of here, and I was literally never like that. I don't really know why. I mean, that's a good thing, I think. But.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad thing. I guess I wasn't either until it just kind of, like, I was like, oh yeah, I don't have to stay here. And I think once that, like, realization hits you, oh, you don't have to stay here. You do have free will, and you can go do whatever you want. Go try something. Even if you leave, dude, even if you move and go try something for a few years. College obviously helps with that. Some people go to different places, and that is, I feel like, a huge spot for people to do that.
Yeah.
But just new experiences and just kind of, I feel like finding yourself. I know that's a very, very overused term, but finding yourself and finding, what makes you happy, and just kind of getting out of the nitty gritty with yourself. But yeah, moving in, like, with me and my buddy, and just kind of surviving on our own without mom and dad too, was obviously, I think, put me in situations that kind of made me a little bit stronger and, like, forced me to do things I didn't want to do, which is a great thing. But Kayla, even after she moved down here, she wanted to go back.
Yeah.
We talked about this a little bit, but, like, literally
for a whole year, I was just, I wouldn't even say miserable. I just missed everything in Michigan.
It wasn't even a year, though. It was like
more.
It was less. It was like 8 months.
Yeah.
And she was like wanted to go back to Michigan, but I think, and that's fine. Once you can try things and not like it, but I feel like, and I'm not even trying. I guess I am. I'm trying to be an activist. I feel like everybody should try it. Yeah. Even if it's for a little bit.
Yeah.
But
like, even for example, my sister and my brother-in-law, her husband.
Yeah.
They moved. Well, my sister moved away and lived in Nashville for, I don't even know, 6 years, 7 years.
Yeah.
And then she moved back to Michigan because she was like, no, like, I need to go home, blah, blah, blah. So I mean, that's just an example. And she's happy at home now, but she lives an hour away
Yeah,
from
but
them.
she went and did that. I feel
Yeah.
like, and that's cool to just go experience something different. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then I guarantee throughout that process, she kind of became her own person. And
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say your parents or whatever. That's not what I'm trying to say. Just a new atmosphere can change you in a good way, I feel like. But there's probably so many. I talked to a lot of people that are thinking the same. Oh, dude, I gotta get out of here. I gotta move. I gotta try it.
Yeah,
Like,
I
just
would
try
say
it.
go for it.
But
I would never say that a couple years ago, but
Yeah,
here I
dude.
am.
Well, I remember Kayla told me, she goes, if you move to Florida, I'm breaking up with you. And then we did long distance for 2 years. You guys
I was
have heard it,
literally
blah,
like,
blah, blah.
there's no way
Yeah.
that this is gonna work if you go to Florida. Because I know, how long were you talking about going to Florida before you actually moved? Do you remember?
Not very long. It was literally kind of a
I feel like it was like
thing.
3-4 months.
Maybe.
But like you were mentioning it, and then I was like, no, like he's not gonna do that. And then like your parents like got real and like were like, no, we're going. And then that's when I was kind of knew. I was like, shoot, like Steven's not staying here. And then I was like, I am somebody, like he said, I feel like I'm a little more independent now.
Yeah.
But I feel like I was a very dependent person then, and I can still be dependent, but
That's a good thing.
I'm better now.
As a wife, that's a good thing to be dependent.
Yeah, but like I feel like I was dependent on you a little bit because you're kind of the only person I hung out with. I didn't have very many friends in Michigan. I had a couple like good friends that I still talk to today,
same.
but like Steven was the one that I went to for everything, and so when he left, I was like, there's literally no way.
It's the same, but let's be real. If I didn't do that, we probably wouldn't even be it could have been a completely different ball game.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
You know what I mean? I don't know what. I can't picture that out, but like, you don't know. That's the other thing. You don't know what's on the other door, dude. Start opening doors and trying different things, and it will open up different opportunities. You can't have good opportunities without, putting yourself in the place to have an opportunity. I don't know really how else to put it, but yeah, you did not. I mean, I didn't want to do long distance either. I remember I got halfway down to Florida. I was in Kentucky, slept in a McDonald's parking lot in my car that I drove down there, my beat it up BMW. And then I remember I beat it up. Beat it is a word. Beat it up.
No, beat up.
Beat up. My beat up BMW. And I woke up and I looked over and I looked and my whole life was packed in that car.
It's so funny. His like your monitors and your
all my computer
it's
stuff.
hilarious because he was like streaming full time then.
Yeah. And I looked over. I was like, dude, what am I doing? Like, I just got hit with the biggest wave of depression. I remember I was like, how am I leaving Kayla? Like, what am I doing? It makes me, like, sad thinking about it. But anyway, I don't know. I want you to jump in, though, and explain to people, like, what changed in your life after you kind of put yourself in a new environment. Like, I can jump in, too, but a lot has changed with you.
I feel like, well, because we did long distance for 2 years. And I still was saying, like, probably within the first year of long distance, I was still probably saying, like, I would never move to Florida. Like, we're better figure something out. Like, you're going to move back. And you almost did move back. Do you remember that?
No, what?
We were talking about with my roommate in college, because you know her, too.
Oh, my gosh. I did almost move back for her.
For me, yeah. Because we were like, it's... I wouldn't say long distance was, like, terrible, because it wasn't. But, like, it's hard.
But the initial switch to anything or initial change to anything is shit.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
going from seeing her whenever I want to a few times a month, if I'm lucky, maybe once a month, sucked, right?
Yeah.
And
But anyways, you were going to move. We were going to try to do like three people in a 2-bedroom apartment. Like we were just going to share a room, whatever. That was dumb. We're not going to do that. But we didn't do it.
I'm glad we didn't.
Yeah, no.
We didn't move in with each other until we got engaged.
Yeah. But so basically, I don't really know. I feel like I kept visiting you in Florida because then COVID happened and then Michigan was shut down and Florida was kind of open.
Super
And
cheap flights.
I couldn't work. My work was closed down.
That was the best thing I think that ever could have happened for us. In that sense, it was the best thing that could have happened for us.
Yeah.
I was getting $50 or $100 round trip flights.
Yeah, barely. $75
round trip.
And we would be
flights,
like the
guys.
only ones on the airplane.
Nobody was on the airplane. I'm not lying. Yeah, there's 15 people on the airplane. I'm flying back and forth to Michigan.
Yeah.
All masked
And like
up.
even when I came to Florida,
Oh my gosh.
like there was
dude.
nobody getting on a plane. But I feel like once I kept visiting and I kept visiting, and then I was like, okay, wait, like I actually really like it here. And we had so much fun when we were here. I feel like you showed me all your favorite places, and it was kind of cool to like see where you lived and where you were making your own life path.
But I think what was cool is you started coming down right after I moved here, and we had it was a new spot for both of us too.
Yeah.
In a way. Obviously, I had grown up here, coming here my whole life, but as an adult, doing your own thing, we, find restaurants we liked, beach spots that we liked together, and then it, I think, formed, like, this is me and your spot. You know what I mean? Like, we are going to create our own lives here. I think that also played a role in you moving down.
Yeah. Well, it really just comes down to when I kept visiting you, I really liked it that much.
Yeah.
Because if it was some place that I didn't like, I would have been like, hell no.
No.
Like, that's not happening. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, it's also hard to come to Florida and be like, no, I hate it here.
Yeah, but I also think where we're at in Florida, very nice compared to other places in Florida. But,
but also, I think the thing that did it for me when I moved down here, or when I decided that I wanted to move down here, is when we brought Dash down here.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So we talked about this a few podcasts ago, but we bought a dog 2 years in a year and a half, 2 years into dating. We bought a dog, which was stupid. Don't ever do that, but it ended up working out perfect.
It's literally the best thing that's ever happened to us.
We brought him down here, and this is how dependent Kayla was. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing. It was kind of funny.
Yeah.
She drove down to Florida, right? But she drove to Nashville, Tennessee.
Wait, hold on. I wanted to drive because I wanted to bring my Dash, our dog, and he's 55, 60 pounds, so he's not going on an airplane. Well, he could, but he's not going under the airplane. Heck no. And then we tried to get him to be an emotional support dog just so I could, like, bring him on a plane. And then our trainer told us that he doesn't listen good enough.
Screw her.
But anyways, so I was like, okay, well, the only way to know is I want to make sure that Dash loves Florida. So I was like, well, I have to drive. So then I was like, there's no way I'm driving by myself. So then me and Steven tried to figure it out. And the best thing that worked out was me driving to Nashville, and then Steven flying from Florida to Nashville, and I'd pick him up at the airport, and then he drove the rest of the way to Florida.
It gets better. Then I drove from Florida to Nashville.
On our way back,
jumped on a flight, went back to Florida. She finished.
And I finished back to Michigan from Nashville.
Which I get. She's a pretty girl. Traveling the country on her own, not a good idea. But it just, and I had no problem doing it. I really didn't. But it was funny to look back at. And I don't think we would have done it a different way. Now that I think about it, like
there's no way I would have made it to Florida by myself.
No, dude, you'd have ended up in California somehow.
Yeah, I'm directionally challenged, first of all. And I hate driving so much.
Yeah.
Like, I
drive everywhere.
Steven drives everywhere,
dude. She just got a new car, and I've put on.
I actually like to drive my new car. I don't mind. Like, I don't know.
I just go for, like, not as much anymore, but I used to just go for drives just to drive.
Yeah.
But anyway, how do you think moving to a new environment, putting yourself in a new environment with new people, new things, new places, how has that, like, helped you as a person?
Well, when you move to a new environment, a new place, and everything else, you have to. There's no choice of you, like, you know what I mean? You have to make a life for yourself, I feel like. Because clearly the first 8 months that I was here, I wasn't doing anything, and I was miserable.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like it helped me learn to be a little more independent. I can call my mom whenever. I can call my dad whenever. They can come here whenever. And I can go there whenever, really. But I don't know. I feel like it's just, like, made me grow as a person because I didn't really have a choice. Like, if I was making the choice to move here, I had to grow up and be on my own.
Yeah, exactly. You threw yourself into something you had to figure it out. But you became much more independent. You found a friend group, which I think was good for you mentally, and just, like, also opened your eyes to a completely different set of friends than you had when you were in Michigan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're different people, different vibes, different activities, different events.
But I feel like there's so much more like me, if that makes any sense.
So much more like you?
Yeah. Like, we love the same things. We support the same things. We're all like the same person, and it's great.
I'm not much of, like, a friend guy. I think, and this is gonna, I don't want this to come off wrong, but, like, I have friends, but when I say I have friends, I have really close friends. I either have friends that I will hang out with, ride or die, whatever, and then I have like acquaintances. And I don't like getting too close to people friendship wise because some become high maintenance. And I'm not talking necessarily friends that I've met through like collaborations or like content or whatever, because that's different. There's two sides of that relationship. There's let's chill out, hang out, talk. And I've actually become like good friends with some of the people that I have done that with. And then there's a business aspect to it. But friends here, like I said, anywhere, it's almost too much work, like high maintenance. Like I don't like high maintenance friends.
I do not have one high maintenance friend in
I
my
hate
friend
it.
group.
I would rather have a friend I see once a year, and every time we hang out, it's like
Yeah.
we never missed a beat.
But
And-
I would say the same thing though. Like I would say I was not a friend person before I moved to Florida. Before I met the girls that I hang out with now, I was never a friend person.
Yeah.
I swear every girl says this, but like I hated girls growing up. They were the worst.
I really actually am curious what that means, because every girl says that.
Girls are rude. Girls are mean. Girls will sit there and just pick you apart while you grow up, and they're just not fun. And girls, like, if you don't find the right group of girls, they're just gonna talk smack behind your back, and they're not like real. Like you tell them something and they're gonna go tell everybody, and like I feel like now that doesn't really relate to my life that much. But like
You're also a
back,
lot older now.
yeah, but like back in high school when girls were just petty and annoying and all of those things.
Yeah. And I got one good friend from high school that I went to high school with that I'm still friends with now. Like, I don't know. I don't necessarily know the exact audience range. I've looked at our analytics, and it's probably from like 20 to 25, and then 20 to 24, and then 25 to 30 is like our majority of our audience. So you guys could probably relate on this level. Like after high school, after college, you don't really talk to those people a whole lot. I didn't keep any friends from college really, like close friends, but buddies that I met through other high schools around me that we just became really tight, and those are my homeboys to this day. Those are the guys I go hang out with when I fly up to Michigan, whatever, you know what I mean? So, I've got one friend in Florida, but he lives 3 hours away, so I don't really have that, you know what I mean? And I like to keep to myself. I don't necessarily like to hang out with people all the time, but Florida friend-wise didn't really do much for me, but that's fine because I think I became so happy with just being with me and Kayla. Actually, for 2 years, I became happy with just being by myself.
I was gonna say, I feel like you're a very independent person to begin with.
Yeah, and it's funny. I think I'm not as independent as I was since we started living together, obviously, since that's going to change.
I feel like that kind of happens.
Yeah, but before I was very independent. Like, I mean, anything. I'd do anything by myself, but it's like, I feel like that's a very important part of life, is becoming independent. Once you become independent, and then you can kind of figure out what makes you happy, who you are, what makes you happy. You know what I mean? But I honestly feel like leaving your hometown is truly a very easy way to figure out who you are.
Yeah,
and
and
kind
also,
of let go of bullshit you do not need in your life. I seriously don't want anybody to take it this way. I'm not talking about your parents. I'm really not saying it. Even if you're in the same state and you move 3 hours away from where you grew up, you're going to meet different, you know what I mean? I'm not saying you got to move across the world, but
yeah,
I'm not saying your parents are poison to your adulthood. I'm just saying there is a point in time where you have to create your own life, and I think, I don't know. I don't know. I think that's so important. And a lot of people debate it, dude. And I had no money no money to my name when I moved down to Florida. I had I don't even know. I probably had $3,000 to my name, which that's not a lot of money. That's
not when you're doing literally everything by yourself.
That's not a lot of money to move down to, or move across the country. It's just not a lot of money, dude. I mean, I probably spent $300 on gas just getting down here. You know what I mean? But taking risk. You took a risk with me moving down here.
Yeah.
I took a risk kind of trying it out down here. I'm so glad you liked it. Kayla was I remember Kayla, not even that long ago, was like, when we have kids, we're moving back to Michigan, which our goal is, we both agreed on this, we want to get a second house up in Michigan. We both love it in Michigan. We're not saying we don't like it in Michigan, but I think it was important for us to start our own life down here. But she used to say, but Kayla has just fallen in love with this place so much, which has been amazing. But our goal is to get a second shack somewhere up there, just somewhere to sleep, you know what I mean? Somewhere up in Michigan where we can enjoy hanging out with her side of the family. And I have family up there too. But, yeah, I mean, I think it's been honestly very healthy for our relationship too, like going through the struggle together, like of figuring out a new place and kind of paving our own way, finding new places, finding new friends, finding new activities, just figuring out ourselves. Because I feel like another thing with when you're living at home, when you stay in your hometown, everybody goes back to their roots. You know what I mean? I don't know how to describe that, but everybody goes back to what they used to know. And
I feel like you're not. This is gonna sound bad, but I feel like
this.
I feel like you don't grow when you stay at home. Like, and I'm not pointing out anybody from my hometown specifically. I'm just saying in general, the people that I've seen that stay literally like where they grew up, like they buy a house a few houses down. You're literally doing the same exact thing with your life every single day, and it's nothing different than when you were in high school. And I feel like high school you versus in your 20s. There's a lot of growth there. And I feel like you have to go with that growth. You can't just, like, stay where you are because that means you literally peaked in high school and you're doing nothing with your life. But it's true. Like, I feel like if I stayed in my hometown.
I love how she ended the sentence. And you're doing nothing with your life. Drops the mic. I get what you're saying. 100%. Some people are just destined for that, though.
But yes, and we need those type of people in the world that do nothing.
It's not that they don't do nothing.
No, I know. They're just not progressively doing anything good.
Oh my God, guys, we're not saying if you don't leave your hometown, you are doing nothing. That's not what we're saying. I just think it's important to grow and put yourself in a tough situation and go force yourself to do things you don't want to necessarily do. And it could turn out to be good for you is all I'm trying to say. Kayla, on the other hand, thinks you're a lazy sack of shit and you do nothing if you stay in your hometown. So that's a debate.
No, I think it also depends where you grow up. We grew up in literally the tiniest town in Michigan. Like with a town within a town. And there's not a lot in that town. Like people that stay in that town, I don't know what you're doing. What are you doing?
It's just I don't think people understand. I hope the people listening right now get grasp out of it. There's more out there to explore. There's more in life to see. There's more things you can accomplish.
And trust me, I literally
I'm not even talking about money, bro. I do not want people to think I'm talking about money. I'm thinking just experiences, doing simple activities, bro. We can go walk the beach whenever we want.
But also, when Steven was telling me that there's a lot more out in the world and he was having so much fun, it took me a whole year probably to believe him. So like I was in the same boat as everybody else. I was like, no, like I want to stay here. Like why would I move anything? Like this is everything I already know. Like why would I move? You know what I mean?
Yes. I think you get to a point though where it's like, people don't have a lot. I didn't have a lot. Like I said, I didn't have a lot of money, but people have this mindset. Oh my God, I don't have enough money to buy a house or go buy whatever. So I'm going to stay in my hometown and save up money. Next thing you know,
but then you're stuck.
Next thing you know, you're pregnant. You're buying a house in your hometown, and you're literally just taking your parents' place, which you're living their life, which you grew up already kind of live. Everybody knows everybody in a small town. So it's like, if you are single, you're not meeting any new people. Unless somebody gets pregnant and has a baby, there's a new person you can meet, I guess. But like, I don't know. I'm not saying move to a bigger city. Try something different.
Just try something different.
Put yourself in a new environment. And figure yourself out a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like once, and I've said it 50 times in this podcast, but once you put yourself in that environment, you're going to scramble and you're going to have to figure it out somehow.
And then it makes you stronger.
That's going to bring out the best in you, I think.
Also, if you are one of those people that stay in your hometown and you're the most successful person in the world, praise you. There are people that have done that.
Guys, I didn't tell, Kayla's shitting on the hometowners today, but.
No, I'm trying not shit on them. Like, if you're doing your thing, then do your thing. This is just my experience. And
I just wish I could take a video of you right now and send it to you 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you grow. So.
Kayla's sassy today. Anyway, we're flying out to Los Angeles, California tomorrow night to go to VidCon. So by the time this video actually goes out, we'll be in Los Angeles. But
Not quite. Oh wait, yeah,
Yeah,
we
we will.
will.
we'll be in Los Angeles and messing around, having a good time. Gonna do some stuff for our main channels and just kind of vlog, make some videos, have a good time. Honestly, a mini vacation with a lot of tax write-offs. We're going there for a convention, so
LOL.
yeah. We're gonna try and get some guests on and whatnot. But the problem is right now we're trying to really feel out what we want to shape this podcast into. And
I feel
honestly,
like-
we figured out us chatting about things and getting into deep dive conversations about certain topics. It flows so well, and it gets pretty deep. And I think people can, I don't want to say relate, but they like it. So that's what I've seen perform best so far. But
Yeah.
if you guys have anything else that you want to see, or maybe some ideas or just things that you guys maybe would want more interest in, please let us know down in the comments. If you're listening on Spotify, give it a 5-star rating. If you're listening on YouTube, subscribe. I think we just hit 10,000 subscribers,
Whoop, whoop.
which is sick because this is our 7th episode. We've posted 7 videos and we're already at 10,000 subscribers. So that's awesome. Appreciate
Also,
you guys.
with guests and stuff, I feel like we want to get more on, but our life is kind of scattered right now because we're moving and we don't actually know we're moving.
We're
With-
moving
within
houses.
within 2 to weeks to a month. We're moving, so
Yeah.
it's a lot for that. A lot planning.
New
we have a
house,
lot of
baby.
trips.
They
Like,
just put the landscape in.
yeah, I'm just saying, like, we will have fun guests on, and we will
When
get a
we're
little
actually
more.
established, I feel like 'cause
Yeah.
right now it's wedding season, and on top of that, me and her are traveling. Like, we're gonna be in 3 different states, and
It's just hard to plan right now.
Yeah,
because we
it's-
have to obviously let other people know ahead of time. We can't just be like, "Hey, tomorrow let's do a podcast." And
but I think these are going well. I genuinely enjoy them. I enjoy just getting on, shooting the shit with you, and just whatever. But yeah, if you're in your hometown, quit being a lazy sack of shit.
also, if
go
you
buy
took
a plane
offense
ticket.
to any one thing I say, I'm sorry, but if you took offense, maybe it's true.
Damn! Kayla's out for blood today.
Just kidding. I love you guys.
Yeah, loser. Go get a plane ticket. Just kidding. Yeah. Go find your inner beast, gentlemen and ladies. Peace.
You
Episode
got
7.
this. I believe in you. Bye.